How you guys doing? Dave Hughes, MMA Weekly. It's been a minute. I'm going to go over the beginning of the year pay-per-view card. Light Heavyweight Championship. Glover Teixeira and Jamal Hill. Good fight. Card that kind of was sad. Guys that last hanging on of my generation are finally retired. Glover Teixeira laid his gloves down. He retired. So that shakes up the light heavyweight division. Now when Yuri comes back, we're going to see Yuri Prohaska and Jamal Hill for the light heavyweight championship. If Jamal doesn't fight again, I mean, he didn't take a lot of damage in this fight. I don't want to say it was eventful, not very eventful in the fight. I mean, Glover, it was a distinct win by Jamal Hill. We'll just say that. I'm not going to put the man down. Shogun Rua retired, laid his gloves down. We knew that was happening. That's been pretty much the narrative for the last couple weeks, was Shogun Rua was going to put the gloves down and retire. He lost his fight. Glover went out on a loss. I'd like to see these legends. You know, they're putting Jose Aldo in the Hall of Fame. I think all three of these guys should be in the Hall. Dana needs to rectify a lot. Anderson's not in the Hall of Fame yet. And I don't even know what to think of that. But that said, Brandon Moreno stops Figgy, Davison Figueiredo in the third round. Should this fight, or should these guys, does it warrant a fifth fight between them? If Figgy can, if he can get his shit together, I guess, and get a couple quality wins, I think it would warrant a fifth fight. I mean, there's not too many killers in the division except for those two. So, I mean, when you're talking about a division with not a lot of great fighters, this is why Dana really doesn't care for the division. Cejudo saved them, but no, there's no way in hell Cejudo's ever getting back down to bantamweight. But it is what it is. I can't wait to watch. Well, actually, sorry. But I can't wait to watch Henry Cejudo and Sterling go at it. It's going to be a good fight. I don't think Sterling's going to make it. I think he has a shoulder injury myself. Kind of weird on that one, considering that's the same thing that Dillashaw had, but he's actually talking about his, and Dillashaw kept it a secret. But the fight between Brandon and Figueiredo, I can remember a time not long ago when Davison was the scariest thing that division's ever seen. I looked for him to keep that title for a long time, and obviously I was wrong. I think Brandon's going to keep the title for a while, to be honest. He's very beatable. Very, very beatable. A couple of the guys in the weight classes above, I wish they could go down and challenge him, but, you know, I think Henry destroys them. But anyway, on to the next. John Jones, Cyril Gahn, and Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards are going to be fighting here next, I believe, is the next pay-per-view. And I don't think Leon stands a chance. I think Kamaru wrestles the fuck out of him. We have a couple fight announcements with Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev are going to fight. That's a good fight. Fiziev's motivated. Gaethje really doesn't have any way to get his direct line to the title right now is fucked up. If Makhachev drops the title, okay, Because let's face it, Brandon doesn't have a ground game. Sorry, not Brandon. Justin doesn't really have a ground game. His whole ground game is staying off the ground. He's good at it. But that's pretty much it. Kamaru, his direct line to a win is putting Leon on his fucking back. Boxing Leon, I think Leon's a good boxer, but Usman's boxing's top notch, man. I mean, he's got a lot of little sneaky tricks he does, like the smack of the hands, the push your hand down to throw the overhand. He'll throw a body shot at your elbow to push your cross your body to your elbow to push your block down to throw the overhand. Usman has a lot of little sneaky tricks that he learned, and he's a good boxer. He really is. He's an underestimated boxer, I think. Everybody's so scared of the ground with him, they forget how good he is in the stand-up. I mean, he's the only one to ever knock out Jorge Masvidal. And I've seen Masvidal get fucking popped, man. I seen him get hit by Darren Till so fucking hard it rattled my jaw. And he didn't go out. And Darren is a fucking killer. I don't know what's going on with him right now. It's one of those things that I have no fucking idea. But anyway, we'll move to the middleweight division real quick. A lot of rumors that Hamzat's never fighting in welterweight again. He's going to stay in the middleweight, but he is big as fuck now. He stays in the middleweight division. He can absolutely take the title. I mean, his ground game's impeccable. I think Izzy was the only one that could have stopped that. Pereira just doesn't have Izzy's ground defense where he can stay away from Hamzat. Hamzat's fast, man. His fucking single leg is so fast and so disgustingly just good, accurate. When he takes the leg, it's unreal, man. I mean, there's 2 fucking Olympic wrestlers in the UFC right now, and Olympic caliber, top-notch fucking wrestlers. And I think Hamzat's wrestling's right up there, if not better. His MMA wrestling, we'll say, is better. But could he take the belt from Pierre? If Izzy doesn't fight this fight, man, they're gonna give the title fight to Hamzat, I think. And if that's the case, Hamzat takes the title. And no, I'm not a big Hamzat fan. I think he's bad for the sport, to be honest. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The wrestlers are proving that a good wrestling game can win in MMA. Khabib proved it. Makhachev's proven it. Hamzat's proven it. The strikers are on, as far as the UFC champions right now, aside of the women's division, you really got to be a wrestler. I mean, from the bottom up. I mean, aside of Leon, because Leon fucking is just lucky. He threw a head kick with a minute left in a fight and won the fight. It's kind of like the Anderson Silva Chael Sonnen thing, where Chael said, I thought when you beat a man for 4.5 rounds, and they catch you, put their legs around your neck, and you tap, that whole spiel Chael did. I mean, Usman completely demolished him for 3 rounds, and put his guard down, and bang, he took a little nap. So, I mean, you have Pereira, however you say his fucking name, in middleweight, and Izzy was the champ before that. But what wrestlers has Izzy faced ever, really? It's just, other than Any wrestler he faced tried to stand with him. They didn't try to take him down, or they stood in the middle of the fucking ring like they were fucking lost. So, all that being said, I don't even know how Pereira beats Hamzat. There's no straight line to victory for him. Sorry. He could get lucky with a shot. He could catch Hamzat in a submission, maybe, working with Glover. That's the best thing he could be doing right now. But the heavyweight division, even there, we have an open title where John Jones has an amazing ground game and Cyril Gane does not have a great ground game. He got taken down by Francis Ngannou, but again, you guys got to understand how fucking strong Francis is. There's a point where when you're as strong as Francis, you don't have to have great technique. You can just simply overpower someone into going down, and I think that's what he did with Cyril, and that's how he was able to take him down like that. And he did have he caught the kick, and a normal person, okay, you catch that kick, you're putting it down. That's a heavy man. That's a 240-pound man, and Francis lifted him like he was nothing. So there's the power right there. Like I said, the light heavyweight title, John and Cyril, we'll see if another quote-unquote wrestler, John Jones, ends up winning the fight using his wrestling, or if he's going to do in John Jones fashion, try to beat the man at his own game. So on to the middleweight, you have, like I said, your striker, welterweight, wrestler will probably be the champ by the end of the year, Usman. Lightweight, perhaps one of the purest wrestlers in MMA, Islam Makhachev. Moving down to featherweight, our Australian buddy here, he pound for pound the best in the world. So can he beat the pure wrestler? He beat Brian Ortega just fine. He got out of perhaps Volkanovski got out of the tightest submission I've ever seen in MMA, where I'm like, okay, he's done. His fucking head was turning purple. I thought it was going to pop. And the second time he got caught, he was able to push his way out. Volkanovski weighed over 200 pounds at one time. And that said, they said he carried his strength down into the lighter, when he lost weight. So he may or may not still be as strong as he was when he was a 200 plus pound rugby player. And that's why he's able to push his head out of submissions and things of this nature. See, the problem is, though, Makhachev is just as strong as he is. And I'm still wondering about when they're younger, the steroid thing where they give them vitamins and they don't tell them what the vitamins are. And you guys need to look into that too, how the Russians, when they have an athlete like an Islam or a Khabib, before they're in, worldwide competitions, they give them vitamins. And they're fucking absolutely 100% steroids. So, then the question comes into play, is that why they're all so fucking strong? Every one of those Russians are fucking strong, and you're going to see Khabib's cousin and Umar being a champion soon. So, like I said, in MMA now, if you're a high school wrestler, junior wrestler, stay in it. If you ever thought about getting in an octagon or getting in a ring to fight, if you don't even use the wrestling, you're a boxer. Still take that mentality, use it. I've never seen any other sport have the dedication it takes for wrestling. I mean, I've played plenty of sports in my career, in my life. You know, football, baseball, basketball. I boxed a little, and never have I seen commitment like it takes for a wrestler. The kids that wrestled, they just didn't offer it in my school, or I probably would have wrestled and not did anything else. It's one of my biggest regrets in my scholastic career was that my school didn't offer wrestling. Because those kids were in the other schools were so fucking dedicated. They had heart. They hate each other, but had each other's back through and through. And now when I watch MMA, I see the dedication and the love and the, you know what I mean? I would put Bo Nichols, for example. Bo Nichols does have all right stand-up, but, you know, he's a wrestler. And if you're going to put fresh guys, new guys in there, Hamzat got there because he could wrestle. He outpowered people. You had to worry about that takedown. Whether he knocks somebody out with his stand-up, which, if you ask me, Hamzat's stand-up isn't that good. I mean, it's beatable. But you still have to worry about the fucking takedown because it's so, you know, once they get you on your back, you're not getting up. I mean, you know, Hamzat's strong, he's big, he's long. He, you know, a good jiu-jitsu guy could maybe catch him, but again, he's so fucking strong, it's hard to catch those long arms. You know what I mean? It's a matter of these guys are so powerful because they dedicated their life to the wrestling. Hamzat was Sweden or whatever he did with their national team. But again, if you want to get into MMA, you always want to start out with wrestling. That's your base. Any MMA fighter will tell you if they could have started with wrestling, they would have. Even Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson has one of the best stand-ups ever in MMA. He was like one of the best kickboxers to ever live. Or karate fighter ever to live. And, I mean, you've seen all it takes is to take him down and he's done. He can't get back up. He just ran out of time in his life is what happened. That's the problem. Father Time always catches us. If Stephen Thompson would have came into MMA a little earlier or been a couple years younger when he came in, he could have learned some better stand-up and that would have been a wrap. He'd have been fine. Or he'd have learned better ground game. Sorry, apologies. And he'd have been fine. Even when he fought Tyron used his wrestling, but not like he could have. And now guys like Gilbert Burns you leave that front leg out there and they're going to take it like, you know, like a kid with candy. It's how it is. But I got off track on things like I usually do. As always, you guys take it easy. God bless. And bye.